Hi everyone, it's Miss Terry and I'm here with some picks for June for students in grades 4. We'll go through some fiction and then we'll go through some graphic novels and then I have some nonfiction for you to look at. This first one is by Margaret Peterson Haddix and this is called The Strangers, and this is about 3 kids, Emma, Finn, and Chess, who've kind of always thought that they knew what their place was in the world. Chess has kind of always been that older brother keeping an eye on his younger siblings. Emma is really good at math and Finn is just really good at being cute and adorable and being adored by everyone. And then they live with their mom, and they end up seeing a news report about 3 children who had been kidnapped, and the 3 children have a lot of resemblances to the 3 of them, and they kind of are wondering, what the heck is going on? Who are these other kids, and what do they have to do with us? I mean, they have the same birth date, they have the same looks, they have the same interests, and they're starting to question who they are and how it relates to their life, and that's called The Strangers. This next one is a story of World War II. This one is called Words on Fire, and this is about a girl named Audra, and she actually lives in Lithuania. So even though most of the World War II stories we hear take place in Germany, this one takes place in Lithuania and it involves the Russians, who are also attacking a lot of the world. And her parents, you can tell that her parents are kind of a part of maybe kind of like a resistance movement, but when the Russians come to their door looking for her parents tell her to run, and they give her a package with some instructions on how to deliver it. Now, Audra is very worried about leaving her parents behind, but she knows she must complete this mission in order to save them. So it's called Words on Fire. We have a new book from the Wayside School series. We haven't seen one of these in quite a long time. And all of your favorite characters from Wayside School are back in their classroom on the 30th floor. And right now they're about to take the ultimate test. Unfortunately, there seems to be a cloud of doom hovering over the school, and they're not sure they're going to do well on this test. So if you enjoy the Wayside School stories, you will enjoy this latest installment. This next one is kind of a mystery. It's called The Mysterious Disappearance of Aiden S. And this is the story about 2 brothers. And Aiden has disappeared. And then 6 days later, he is just back. And he doesn't really want to talk about where he went or why he was gone. He doesn't really believe that anybody will believe him. But his brother Liam is really interested to find out exactly what happened. And he's willing to suspend some disbelief and believe what Aiden has to say. This next one is called The World Between Blinks, and this is about 2 siblings, Jake and Marisol, who really love action-packed adventure, and they are convinced that their grandmother is the reason why they like to do that. She always has wonderful stories to tell. Well, their grandma has passed away, and the family decides to go visit her house one more time. And before you know it, the 2 siblings end up falling through a crack in Grandma's house into a whole nother world. It's called The World Between Blinks. And this world is full of magic and mystery and a lot of missing history. Mysteries from histories, including Amelia Earhart and things like that. And unfortunately, the man who has the key to getting the 2 of them back home doesn't want to be found. And if they aren't able to find him soon, they might be stuck in this world forever. That's The World Between Blinks. The Beast and the Bethany is a fun take on the Beauty and the Beast story, and this is about Ebenezer Tweezer, who has been able to remain beautiful for the last 511 years, and the way that he can do that is by feeding the beast that lives in his attic. Well, the beast is starting to get more and more demanding, and he decides that this time he'd like to eat a child. So Ebenezer, while he's never really done anything that bad before, has decided, well, maybe if I find the most rotten, horrible girl on the planet, or child on the planet, then maybe I won't feel so bad about feeding her to the beast. And that's where Bethany comes in. She's kind of an unpleasant young lady. She's not always very friendly or nice, but as Ebenezer gets to know her a little bit better, he realizes he doesn't really want the beast to eat her, and he's not really sure what he's going to do. It's called The Beast and the Bethany. Out of This World is a fun space adventure, and this is about a boy named Jack who on his 12th birthday, a group of aliens descend on his house, and it turns out that they're looking for Gradius Clench, who happens to be the biggest super spy in the galaxy, and he looks exactly like Jack. So now Jack is racing through the universe with kind of a ragtag group of bounty hunters in the hopes that he can clear his name and get the other aliens who are trying to find this Gradius Clench to get off his back. If you like movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, you probably would enjoy this story. This next one is a part of the Girls Survive series. This one is called Hedy and the London Blitz. It also takes place during World War II, but this time we're in London, and the Germans are getting closer and closer and are continuing to drop bombs on Hedy's town and neighborhood. And this is the story of whether or not she and her family can survive that. I also have a new Choose Your Own Adventure. This one is called Game Day Football, and in this one you get to be a football player. It has 42 choices and 21 different endings. This is the kind of story where you read for a little bit and then you make a choice, and that's what page you turn to. So you can read it over and over, making new choices, and see how well you can do as a football player. And then the last fiction one I'm going to talk about, this one is called Unicorn Island, and it's about a girl named Sam whose mom has to go away for a little bit for work, and she ends up going to live with her grumpy Uncle Mitch on kind of this island that seems very boring to Sam. It's very foggy. It's called Foggy Harbor. That's how foggy it is. But one day she discovers a secret island through the fog that is full of unicorns, and this changes everything for her. So it's called Unicorn Island. Let's look at some of the graphic novels. I do have a new Max Meow one. This one is called Donuts and Danger. If you like books like Dogman, you definitely would enjoy this one as well. Here is another in the Cat and Cat series. I think I've talked about this series before. And in this one, this is Cat and her lovable cat named Sushi, well, kind of a troublemaker cat named Sushi, are kind of grossed out because their dad has a new girlfriend named Samantha. And along with Samantha comes her video playing son named Virgil. And they are trying to figure out what they're going to do if their parents end up getting together for good. So that's called Cat and Cat, Dad's Got a Date. Ew. This next one is in the Catstronauts series, and the Catstronauts are back in space. They've been sent to kind of fix this misfunctioning satellite. Unfortunately, they're having a hard time getting a hold of Mission Command because there's too many meteor showers going on, and they're not sure they're going to be able to fix this before they get struck by a meteor. You love cats if you love space. What's not to like? This next one is called Lemonade Code, and this is about a boy named Robbie. There's Robbie right here, and he is a genius, like really an absolute genius, but he doesn't have enough money to build the things that he wants to invent in order to become this, famous genius, and very wealthy. So he decides to set up a lemonade stand, but this is going to be a state-of-the-art lemonade stand where he can make any flavor of lemonade you could possibly want, including like bacon flavor or baked potato flavor. Unfortunately, he's not the only one with a lemonade stand, and across the street, his neighbor, Daphne Dury, has also started a lemonade stand, and her business, unfortunately, is doing better than his, and Robbie is determined to destroy her stand in order to make money. So it's called the Lemonade Code. This next one is the first in the Star Scouts series. This is about a girl named Ivani, who's a new girl in town, and she's joined what kind of is like the local Girl Scout troop. I think it's called the Flower Power or something like that. And she's very bored with it. They don't like to do anything but talk about boys and makeup. And she's like, that's not what I want to do. I want to go on adventures and do fun stuff. Well, little does she know that there is a group of Star Scouts out in the universe, and this alien named Mabel comes down and kidnaps her because as one of her badges, it requires to get a alien specimen, and in this case, a human. They whisk Ivani up into space, and Ivani kind of is like, hey, you know what? I think I'd rather be a Star Scout. Now, if she can only get back home before her dad realizes that she's left planet Earth. This is the first in the series. There's already numbers 2 and 3 out. I'm bringing up kind of an older one because they're still making some new ones, and a new one just came out. So if I've already know about the Hilo series, you can just come and get one of the new books in the series. But if you're not familiar with it, I thought I'd share it. So this is a graphic novel about a boy named Hilo who crashes to Earth. He doesn't really know who he is or where he's from, but he does have some special powers, and he's found by these 2 kids who decide they're going to help him, and they're going to bring him to school. They're going to kind of hide him and pretend that he's human, but he's not really. Like, he tries to go to school on the first day in his underwear. They have to kind of teach him how to be human as they're trying to discover where he's from in order to get him back home. This next one is called Fairy Tale Comics, and these are some of your favorite fairy tales like Little Red Riding Hood, Humpty Dumpty, and things like that, retold in a fun comic book way. And then this one is another tale of World War II. This one is a graphic novel version, and this is called The Raid of No Return. I can see my pages are falling out. I think I'm gonna need to get that fixed before we can get that one checked out. But this is a story about World War II and being a pilot. let's look at some nonfiction. I seem to have picked quite a few World War II stories today. This one is about the Navajo code talkers, and during World War II, the enemies kept breaking our codes, and so they were trying to figure out a way that they could keep them from doing that. So they turned to the Navajo people and asked them to come up with basically an unbreakable code based on their language, and this is the true story of that group that helped come up with that code. This next one is kind of a fun trivia book. It's called That's What You Think, and it's amazing, mind-boggling information about your brain. And it's basically kids have asked questions about the brain, and then they get answered. You can kind of see the format of it. Lots of pictures in here, but it talks about things like how fast is your brain? Is it true that somebody could really remember everything that they see? So all the mysterious ways that our brain works, this book takes a look at that. This next one is a part of the She Dared series. This one is about Malala Yousafzai. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly, but this is the story about the young girl who was determined to go to school and actually got shot in the face for trying to do that. So this is her story and now what she's doing to try to advocate for girls in order to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to go to school. This next one, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of picked it for the pictures. This one is called Koala Hospital, and this is the story about what scientists are doing to save koalas. A lot of gorgeous, beautiful, cute little pictures in there. What a cute little animal. Next, we have 20 games to create with Scratch if you're looking for a new project over the summer. Scratch is an online video game programming language that you can learn, and then this gives you step-by-step instructions on how to create games with it. Another something to do over the summer, this one is called Potions Class, and this is science experiments for the magically minded. So it's things that you can make at home, things like kinetic sand, magic writing potion so that it only appears when you want it to appear. It has popping pixie potion, fountain of fury, lots of different fun science experiments. Kind of makes a little bit of a mess, so make sure you ask your parents before you attempt anything in this book. This is a new one called Would You Rather? Books for Kids. I'm sure some of you have played this game before, but so if you're looking for some new scenarios, this book is full of them. So for example, would you rather have a bed the same size as your room or have an elevator in your house? And these are always good discussion starters. Would you rather? And then the last nonfiction one, this one's kind of a big one. This one is called Sky Gazing. We should have some beautiful weather this summer that'll give you the opportunity to look up into the sky. So if you're looking for a guide to the night sky as well as other space information, this one is called Sky Gazing. Enjoy.